Hello everyone, today we are going to discuss a House of the Dragon theory. Is Daemon Targaryen Aemond's real father? But before that, remember to like the video, it helps out the channel a lot, and subscribe, and yada yada yada, let's get to it. So basically, the theory is that Daemon is the father of Aemond, not Viserys. That would mean that Daemon hooked up with Alicent at some point in the story. So let's go over the facts from the books and television show and see if there is any evidence to support this. The two do look a lot alike. I think it is the first thing people notice when watching the show, and where most people start suggesting this type of theory. But you have to remember that Daemon is his uncle as well, so of course there's going to be some resemblance between the two. They share the same blood. The book Fire and Blood, which House of the Dragon is based on, is where the majority of the evidence supporting this comes from. For those who are not familiar with the book, it has its own little story within it. It is said to be written by Archmaster Gyldayn, who was alive during the reign of Robert Baratheon. He is writing a book in the world of Westeros about the Targaryen kings. So most of this info about the Targaryens is secondhand from different maesters and different accounts of the time, since he had not yet been born when Aemon and Daemon were alive. So the info isn't always the most reliable. Sometimes the account is from a maester, and sometimes the info comes from a court jester who goes by the name of Mushroom. My point is that some of the info from the books are nothing more than rumors, and some are based on truth. Either way, take the info from the books with a grain of salt. In the books, it is rumored that Daemon took Alicent's maiden head, so her virginity. Many thought that's why her father, Otto Hightower, hated him so much. So there has been rumors of the two hooking up beforehand, so it wouldn't be so far-fetched to think this relationship could have continued even after she married Viserys. The only hint we get in the show is in the first episode, at the tourney celebrating the birth of Viserys and Aemma's son. Daemon asks Alicent for her favor during the jousting portion. This was right after Daemon knocked her brother off his horse, and he did it in a rather cheaty way. That was a hard fall. He's going to be bedridden for a bit. Daemon asks for her favor, and she gives a coy little smile and gives it to him and wishes him luck in the tourney, all to the dismay of her father, Otto. I think that at least shows that she had some interest in Daemon at this time. And that is really it for the evidence that supports this theory. A rumor and a smile. This theory isn't really hinted at all in the show, so it really needs you to have an open mind about it. The only other scene I can remember the two talking in was in episode 4 when Daemon came back to King's Landing. She asks Daemon if he would like to see the tapestries. Viserys and Rhaenyra are both here during this conversation, and Viserys answers for his brother, saying he has no interest in the tapestries. So unless this was some kind of secret code for some sexing, there really are no hints at Daemon and Alicent having a relationship. Now there are a few reasons against this theory, the first being how religious Alicent is. So for anyone who watches the show knows Alicent is very religious. She believes in the Seven. The Hightowers are all very religious. The religion was founded in Old Town, which is the seat of House Hightower. And the Starry Sept, where the High Septon resides, is in Old Town. Throughout season 1, we see Alicent praying to the gods at the Sept. We also see later on in the show at the infamous family dinner scene, she makes everyone say a prayer before eating the food. So cheating on her husband with his brother seems a bit out of character for Alicent. Another reason against this theory is that Alicent is very faithful, and some might even consider her to be boring. When Alicent found out that Rhaenyra hooked up with Daemon at a brothel, she was beside herself. Then, when it was clear to everyone at court that Rhaenyra was cheating on her husband Laenor with Harwin Strong, and Harwin was the father of Rhaenyra's children, Alicent was pretty much leading the anti-Rhaenyra party. So to hate Rhaenyra so much for something she would also be doing, if this theory is true, seems a bit far-fetched. The next reason against this theory is where Daemon was during the conception. So the timelines for the book and show are a little different, so we will be focusing on the show for now, since this is a show theory. So Aemond is the third child of Alicent. He is a year younger than his sister Helaena. Alicent was pregnant with Helaena when Daemon was on the Stepstones fighting the Triarchy. So Alicent would have had to have gotten pregnant again not long after she gave birth to Helaena. And Daemon didn't return to King's Landing right away either. He arrived at the same time Rhaenyra arrived back after she went on tour looking for a husband. Now, some would say Alicent never showed any signs of being pregnant in episode 4 or 5, so Daemon could have sexed her up during that time, which I can't argue with. But he was so focused on his plan to marry Rhaenyra by sullying her and basically forcing Viserys' hand to marry her to him. When was he going to find the time to do the sexing? And shortly after Rhaenyra got married, he married Lena Velaryon and went to Pentos for years. So there is just a really short window for this to have happened. Personally, I don't think this theory holds any water. I get the two look alike, but there is just not enough evidence to support it. If you watch season 1, Alicent and Daemon barely have any scenes with one another. So if Daemon was the father of Aemond, it would just come out of left field. It would feel like a twist for the sake of a twist, like it wasn't earned and carefully hinted at. So what do you think? Is Daemon Aemond's father? Leave it down in the comments below, and if you want more House of the Dragon content, please subscribe and like the video. Check out the Twitter link in the description below, and as always, have an awesome day.